Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And welcome to UU Miami. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or joining us online, we are glad you're with us. I am Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero, joined today by my co-leader and co-preacher today, Dr. Daniel Sheridan, our pianist, Dr. Joseph Taeda, soloists, Tiffany Williams and Sebastian Hernandez, RE Minister, yes, thank you, yeah. RE Minister Jessica Lamb, and our Media Minister Derek Mustelier. Today, our hashtag Being UU series reaches the principle the other 6 have been standing on all summer, the 7th principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which everyone here and everything we see outside of us are a part of. We have walked worth, justice, acceptance, the free search of conscience, and the whole human family. Today we learn what they were all strong on. 2 voices, 1 sermon, because the interdependence should not be preached alone. So come as you are already part of this web.
As we begin, we light our chalice. This morning on the 7th Sunday of our Being UU series, we light it for our 7th principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. I invite you to please rise in body or spirit for the lighting of the chalice. We light this chalice for the great balancing act that never stops. For the mangrove holding the shoreline with its knees in the water, for the reef trading shelter for sunlight, for the trees that made the breath you just took and the breath you just gave back to them. We light this flame for the last 6 words of the principle, the humblest words of our covenant, of which we are a part. We are not the landlords of this world, we are strands in it. Let us say together, We kindle this light within and between us. Every strand holds another strand. We are not above the web, we are woven in. Selah. I invite you to remain standing in body or spirit and join me in our unison affirmation, first in English and then in Spanish. The words will be projected on the screen. Love is the spirit of this faith, and service is its prayer. In love we agree to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra fe, y el servicio es su oración. En amor acordamos vivir unidos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en libertad y ayudarnos el uno al otro. Our opening hymn is We Celebrate the Web of Life, number 175 in the gray hymnal, and it does something rare for an opening hymn. It names our principal in its very first line, and then it goes walking through the whole family, the creatures and the forests and the seas, and refuses to leave anybody out, including us. Singing it is practice for the morning, every voice a strand, every strand in the song. Please join us in this hymn.
We celebrate the web of life, its magnitude we sing, for we can see divinity in every living thing. A fragment of the perfect whole in cactus and in quail, as much in tiny barnacle as in the great blue whale. Of ancient dreams we are the sum, our bones make stone to stone, and bind our future worlds to come with worlds that were and are. Respect the water, land, and air, which gave all creatures birth. Protect the lives of all that share the glory of the earth.
You may be seated. So for those joining us today and online, good morning and welcome to UU Miami. We are part of the Unitarian Universalist Association, grounded in pluralism, humanism, and care for one another and for the earth. We gather around shared values, the worth of every person, justice, belonging, and the great web that holds them all. This morning we continue being UU, our summer walkthrough of the principles one at a time. Today is the 7th, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. It is the loom the other 6 are strung upon. We honor the native peoples of South Florida, past, present, and future, acknowledge that we live and worship on ancestral homelands. We offer respect and gratitude to the Tequesta, Seminole, Taíno, and Miccosukee peoples, and we commit ourselves to dismantling the harmful legacies of colonialism and oppression. If you're new, look for someone wearing a yellow or orange lanyard. Whoever you were part of this web before you walked in, so we welcome you home. Our full announcements are printed in the back of your bulletin and on our website, and we hope you will join us for a few of them. We encourage you to follow us throughout the week and find us on social media. We are UUC Miami on every platform, where we share the moments between Sundays and the reminder that you belong to something larger than any 1 hour. And wherever you are, ready to go deeper, our home online is uumiami.org, with every way to give, to serve, and to get involved. Wherever you are on your journey, there is a next step here for you. We're so glad you are with us.
Before we continue, though, we do have a couple of announcements from the pulpit. So I'm going to ask Ashley to come up and say for your announcements. But also, Our membership committee is meeting next Sunday, August 23rd, for a short meeting after the service. So if you want to be a part of that committee, that's a committee that we do the hospitality for visitors, for the members that we have. So please come join us next Sunday, August 23rd, after the service.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Ashley, and I did want to make an announcement about two really significant events we had yesterday and that will continue to go on moving forward. The first, as you probably saw from the newsletter, was the Jubilee Market. How many people saw the photos from that yesterday? Okay, most of you saw. Okay, so maybe not so much as a new surprise announcement, but I want to share that for those of us who participated in that, it was a really beautiful, rewarding experience. Congrats to Harold, Dan, and all the other partners that set that up. We had, I believe, over 50 families participate in that activity, where you could come to the room and you could get food, and if you have any kind of food insecurity or if you're on a budget, and there was just a lot of gratitude, and it was just a really great overall experience. So we had buses of people coming in, and again, that's going to be the third Saturday of every month going forward, and we had so many of you already participating. Some people who are not here, probably online because they might be tired today because there was a lot of setting up and a lot of handing out. But anyhow, if you hadn't had a chance to participate or see the photos, then I would encourage you, at least for our family, it was really a really nice event for us. It meant a lot for our family to participate. So that was one announcement. And then the other announcement was yesterday we kicked off our first new religious exploration committee. So I think that we've had many of those before, but this was our first new one. So yeah, thank you all. And so if anybody wants to participate in that, that will also be the third Saturday of every month going forward. So the next one is September 19th, and that's at 11:15 in the Emerson Room. For those of you who prefer to attend online, just let me know. I can send you all a link. But that particular committee is focused on supporting the efforts that Jessica Carla have already taken every Sunday. So we want to support and bring more community members and children to this activity that happens Sunday, but it's also dedicated to expanding our UU principles outside of the Sunday religious exploration class. So many different ways to do that, providing different value activities for the children in the program to give back and to participate. Another thing we're focusing on this year is bringing more of these events to the general expanded community at large. So finding a way for the community to know more about UU, but also for UU to use the spaces and resources to give back on that level. So providing a safe space for families in the community to participate. So you're going to hear a lot more from the committee, and we're going to definitely be reaching out to many of you because we have so many talents here for people that can help with artistic events and dance events and music events for everybody. But if you are hoping to participate or you'd like to participate in these activities, please come or let me know, and I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. So thank you so much. Hope I didn't miss anything.
Thank you, Ashley. Friends, at UU Miami, we share a moment of connection, a time to honor the worth and dignity of everyone here. I invite you to greet those around you in whatever way feels right. If you prefer to remain seated or in a quiet presence, that is welcome as well. Let us take a moment now to connect with one another in the spirit of community. Another one?
thing because there's multiple.
Friends, may the connections we make here carry into the world. Peace and long life. Salah. You may be seated.
Think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue-corner moon, or asked a grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does a sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue-corner moon. For whether we are white or coppered skin, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. Need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
That was beautiful. I love that. I'm a big D23 member. That's a Disney Disney club, and they were playing that the other day, and it brings me tears every time I hear that song. All right, so it is a time for all ages at this point. So I would like to invite all of you who are young and young at heart to come and join me up in the steps as we read today's story. And as they make their way over here, once again, I'm Jessica Lamb, your RE director. Hey there, what's up? Have a seat, have a seat. I also would like to let you know, Ashley had mentioned about the committee yesterday. We have come up with our very first event happening on September 19th, the same day as our committee meeting. In the evening, we're going to be doing an outdoor movie. So please bring your grandkids, your family members. We'd love to have you. You'll see more information about that as we get closer. All right. So today's story is, as I load it up over here, Nova and the Wobbly Universe. So here's a true thing about the universe. It wobbles. And for all of you Whovians out there, it's timey-wimey and wibbly-wobbly. Planets spin, stars whoosh, the whole galaxy is turning like a giant pinwheel. Right now, while you sit there, nothing in the universe holds still. Did you know we're actually moving? Did you know that? Do you feel yourself moving?
Yes.
You do, right? I feel it too. Yes. But are you dizzy though?
No.
No, because we don't feel it. We don't, even though it's still moving. Nova did not like that one bit though. Nova liked things to stay still. And her insides felt like a snow globe somebody would not stop shaking. Can you show me how a snow globe shakes? Yes. How would you like it if you were shaking like that all the time? No? Maybe you might like it. I'd love that. So when Papa Tito said, "Today you learn the big bike, mi amor," Nova said, "Absolutely not. Bikes wobble." Nova got on the bike, and the bike wobbled. So Nova went stiff. Stiff arms, stiff legs, squeezed the eyes shut. Ugh. Still as a statue. And statues, my friends, do you think statues can ride bikes? No, they cannot. Absolutely not. So, the statues, they don't move, but down she went into the soft grass because obviously she couldn't pedal. She couldn't move. "I held still as hard as I could," said Nova. "And that is the problem, mi cielo," said Papa Tito. He pointed at the palm trees dancing in the wind, just like in our song, right? Do they go stiff in a storm? No. They bend a little, this way, that way. That is why they do not break. Balance is a conversation, Nova. The wobble talks, and your answer, little answers all the time. Nova got back on. The bike wobbled left. Instead of going stiff, Nova answered, a little lean to the right. The bike wobbled right. Nova answered left. Wobble, answer, wobble, answer. And Papa Tito's hand stayed on the back of the seat, jogging along beside her until, without telling her, he let go. And off she went to find independence. Nova was riding, wobbling the whole time and riding it anyway. That's what we call going with the flow. So friends, in our faith, we make a promise, and it is the 7th one on our list. We promise to care for the great web of life, the whole timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly universe that we are part of. And here's what Nova knows. Balance is never holding still. Balance is answering little answers all the time on the bike and off it. And nobody learns it alone. Somebody's hands always in the back of your seat. At least I hope so you don't fall. We all need some friends and some help, right? So find your community, and your community is sitting right next to you right now. So this week, be somebody's hand. And now, let's make a little archway for our youth, and let's sing our children out. So thank you.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your hearts know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
It is now the part of the time of our service where we do our joys and concerns. So please come up to this spot here in the congregation, and you can share any joys, any concerns that you might have. Please, if you're watching online, you can also share in the chat, and please try to keep it short so we can get through the service in a timely manner.
Good morning, I'm Bob Jacober. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the minds of men and women to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or with a bare bodkin ended. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all, and deeds lose the name of action. Let's not get too involved in consideration when there's something good that we could do for the community or for our friends. Let's just do it without all the analytical examination.
Amen. Thank you, Bob. Bob's wisdom.
Bob, now I feel bad that I don't have like a major Shakespearean monologue to start my thought. I know there are some. I will just say I'm not going to share any specific concern, but there has been a lot of concerns this week. Just a lot of loss, and not for me personally, but just a lot of loss for a lot of my friends this week. And it's just been, I'm trying to be a supportive friend, but it just kind of, this week has been a lot, really rough for a lot of people I know. And I just want to send my heart out to those folks and just love into the world. So thanks.
Thank you, Andy.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Petticord with my usual flock of joys. Mainly, my main joy right now is I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm just enjoying the colors of the day. Had a great time dancing last night. Just the joys just keep piling up. I've defeated 3 different kinds of cancer, and I'm still here. And I just want to leave you with a Richard Feynman quote that's been following me all week. I'd rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned.
Amen. Thank you, Bonnie.
Hi, I am, good morning. I am Sachi. I am back from India for 1.5 months. In hot summer, more rains, and more rains, but with love and hope, I made it on my own. And I will hope you can achieve whatever you want. You have to desire and work for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Saji. I'm glad. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. I am Derek, the media minister. My joy this morning is another wonderful session of my exploring our theological house this morning. We talked about missiology. It was awesome. We had, I think, 10 people this morning. I was so full. We needed more chairs. I was like so full of delight and joy. And every Sunday I've been doing this. It's been so wonderful. I love talking theology. So being able to talk theology with a bunch of other UUs and it just exploring our past and our present and our future, it's just been such a privilege and a blessing. So thank you all. Thank you everybody who's come to one of these, and we have 2 more, I believe. So I'm really excited, and I hope some more of you will come check us out.
Thank you, Derek. We share the joys heard and concerns heard and those not heard. Thank you.
As we settle into this part of the service, I invite you to join us in our collective meditation. Please let your feet find the floor. Let the seat take your weight. If it's comfortable, you may close your eyes or soften your gaze downward. I invite you to find your breath, not to change it, but just to find it. Now notice something you almost never notice. You are being held right now. The floor is holding your feet. The ground is holding the building. The air is holding your next breath, ready before you even ask for it. You did not arrange any of this. It was already here when you arrived. And it is not only you. Everything in this room is resting on something else. The light is riding through the wires. The morning is riding the turning of the earth. And the whole world works this way, each thing leaning on the next, all the way down, and nothing anywhere standing entirely on its own. And you belong to that. You always have. So for these next few breaths, do the simplest thing there is. Stop carrying yourself and let what holds you hold you. And when you're ready, you can allow your eyes to open and return to this time together, remembering you were held the whole time, and you still are. We now center ourselves with Return Again, number 1011 in the Teal hymnal. The whole journey of this morning, sung in one circle, return to who you are.
Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn. Vuelve otra vez, vuelve otra vez, vuelve al hogar de tu ser. Vuelve otra vez, vuelve otra vez, vuelve al hogar de tu ser.
Convenience, they change themselves. Eating with the seasons in a way of honoring abundance by going to meet it when and where it arrives. A world of produce warehouse and grocery stores enables the practice of having what you want when you want it. We force the food to come to us at considerable financial and ecological costs, rather than following the practice of taking what has been given to us, each in its own time. These service berries were not coarse, and their carbon footprint is nothing. Maybe that's why they taste so good. They come only this time of year. These ephemeral sips of summer without the aftertaste of harm. May we learn to go and meet abundance instead of forcing it to come to us. May we take what is given, each in its own time.
Our second reading comes from Sean Carroll, a theoretical physicist who studies the deepest laws of the universe and then asks the questions physics alone cannot answer. How creatures made of atoms come to lead lives that matter. In the big picture, he starts where evolution left us, wired from birth to care, and then names the gift that changed everything. Consciousness means our cares are a starting point and never a cage. We can reflect on what we inherited, we can change it, and out of that reflection, he says, we build the purpose and meaning of our lives. Listen to a physicist arrive at the work of the Spirit. An organism that didn't give a crap about anything that happened to, it would be at a severe disadvantage in the struggle for survival when compared to one that looked out for itself, its family, and its compatriots. We are built from the start to care about the world, to make it matter. Our evolutionary heritage isn't the whole story. The emergence of consciousness means that we care about and how we behave in response to those impulses can change over time as a result of our learning, our interaction with others, and our own self-reflection. Our instincts and unreflective desires aren't all we have. They're just a starting point for building something significant. Human beings are not blank slates at birth, and our slates become increasingly rich and multidimensional as we grow and learn. We are bubbling cauldrons of preferences, wants, sentiments, aspirations, likes, feelings, attitudes, predilections, values, and devotions. We are not slaves to our desires. We have the capacity to reflect on them and strive to change them. But they make us who we are. It is from these inclinations within ourselves that we are able to construct purpose and meaning for our lives. The world and what happens in the world matters. Why? Because it matters to me, and it matters to you. May we treat what was wired into us as a beginning and never a verdict. May the world matter to us so much that we become worth what it gave. May it be so. Selah.
May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be a seed for balance we were made for. So say we all. Amen. Robin Wall Kimmerer opened this morning by handing us a berry. Hold it in your mind for a second. A service berry, a little sip of summer that shows up once a year in its own time, in its own terms. Nobody forces it. There's no warehouse, there's no greenhouse, no carbon footprint. And she told us why it tastes so good. It is a gift that is freely given, sweetness without the aftertaste of harm. And then she showed us the other world, the one that we have built. The world that forces food to come to us, whatever we want, whenever we want it, whatever the cost to the earth. And she named the older art her people never lost. Instead of changing the land to suit their convenience, they changed themselves. So hold both this morning, my friends. The berry in one hand, the warehouse in the other. Because the distance between them is the whole question of our seventh principle. How did a species made for kinship become a species that takes without concern? How did we become so terrified of relying on Earth's natural rhythms that we build warehouses to guarantee our absolute self-reliance? Here's something most people never hear. Across the vast landscape of ancient theology, most traditions agreed on why humans exist. We were made to do the heavy lifting, formed for servitude, so the gods could rest, to worship the gods, to feed the gods with our incense and our burning offerings. But scattered across the globe, a few brilliant flashes of divine understanding imagined something else. The writers of Genesis pictured a God bringing order out of chaos and creation as God's ultimate creative expression. Native theology tells of a creator breathing life into the dust of the clay of this very earth. In ancient Persia, Zoroastrians said humanity was formed to be Hamkar, divine co-workers, partners in keeping cosmic balance. And the Maori people of New Zealand tells of the first human molded from sacred red clay, giving the breath of life and handed the active guardianship of the earth. Do you hear what these accounts agree on? Creation does not exist for transactional worship. It exists to flourish together in balance. Humanity, formed from stardust, a material reflection of the divine consciousness, is called to be a co-creative force. We are entrusted with care, never nomination. We were made to be caretakers, deeply embedded in a system we did not build, reminding us that we did not create ourselves and that we need one another. We are the inheritors of that canon, and this morning our summer walk arrives at our seventh principle: respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part of. Respect, that's more than wonder. Respect is regard the cost of something, the kind you owe to something you belong to. And then the 6 humble little words in the principle, of which we are a part of. Members of the web, kin to one another. Exactly what those old flashes of theological wisdom imagined so long ago. And yet, when you watch the news, when you read the headlines in your phones, we see the trauma that we keep inflicting on the world and on one another. Humanity has fallen short of that divine image. We have missed the mark and the purpose that we were imagined for. And the ones who will reap our actions, the ones that will reap our inactions, are the children who are being born today, who without a radical shift are inheriting a world that is unrecognizable and will be even more unrecognizable with the images and the documentaries and the stories that they will hear from the grandparents about the whales and the dolphins and the elephants and the lush forests that we used to have. I'll confess something to you. There are moments I lose hope that we can change course. And I have to choose hope anyways, because on the other side of that despair, I'm not sure that I will be able to climb out of. So here's where I plant my flag of hope. We are here for a blip, but in that blip, we get to choose. And as far as we know, we are the only strand of this web that can understand how our actions reverberate throughout the whole family system of life. We know our current path can't hold. We build an economy with an insatiable hunger, one that will consume everything to maintain an illusion of total independence. A system like that exists nowhere in nature. Nature keeps reaching out for balance in the chaos, because in balance, life flourishes. And Kimmerers reminds us that what we forgot. When the world and your wants fall out of balance, you don't dominate the world. You must change yourselves. Our faith has been trying to remind us of this as well. Unitarian Universalists helped name environmental racism back when naming it cost something. Our congregations earned green sanctuary commitments, pushed our own denominations to disinvest in fossil fuels, stood with indigenous water protectors, voted climate justice into our national priorities. Imperfectly, incompletely, we've been trying to wake the world and to stay awake ourselves. But here's the thing. Since systems are made of people, and people run on reasons, before we can change what we built, we have to understand the why underneath it. When we dominate instead of care, when we keep consuming past every warning, that's something that does not live in the headlines. It lives in us. It lives in the deep and sometimes unconscious architecture of our minds. It lives in our fears of not being in control. The old traditions had a word for coming back into right relationship: atonement. Now hear that again. At one-ment. Becoming at one again with one another, with nature itself. And here's why I believe that we can actually do that. You heard in our second reading from physicist Sean Carroll, a physicist of all people, studied the deepest laws of the universe and found us in there. Creatures built from the very start to care. Caring isn't decorating in our biology. Caring is our biology. It is our nature. And then consciousness arrived, and everything changed, because what we care about became visible, became understandable. Our instincts are the starting point, never a cage. When we look at what was wired into us, we can reflect in our relational systems. We can change them. That's Sean Carroll's physics, and it is our faith oldest hope wearing a lab coat. And he ends exactly where each of us begins. The word matters, and that word is why. Because it matters to me, and it matters to you. So the web is real. The caring is built in. The changing is possible. What's left is the hardest part and the most human, because caring binds us to one another. And being bound to one another asks something of the human heart that our culture almost never teaches. It asks us to drop the armor of self-reliance and face the reality of our own dependence. It asks us to step out of the illusion that we can manage the web from above, and instead risk the profound vulnerability of allowing that web to hold us. Dan is going to take us there now.
So there's something very beautiful about the UU image of an interdependent web of existence. A web reminds us that everything is connected. Our lives are connected to one another, to generations that came before us, and generations that will come after us, to creatures and to ecosystems, to soil, water, and air. Nothing exists entirely by itself. But I want to suggest that hidden inside that beautiful language of interdependence is a word we may find considerably less comfortable: dependency. It's one thing to say we're all connected, but it's another thing to say I am dependent. We live in a culture that has taught us to admire independence. We admire the person who's strong and capable and self-reliant. We talk about raising children to become independent, and we celebrate the self-made person. Dependency, on the other hand, can sound like weakness, neediness, immaturity. But psychoanalysis offers us a different way of understanding dependency. It reminds us that human beings become capable of independence precisely because we have first been dependent. Every one of us entered this world radically dependent upon other people. Someone fed us before we could feed ourselves. Someone held us before we could hold ourselves upright. Someone spoke to us before we understood language, and someone comforted us before we knew how to comfort ourselves. We did not create ourselves. And the remarkable thing is that we never entirely outgrow this condition. I may feed myself today, but I did not grow everything on my plate. I may drive myself to work, but I did not build the roads. I may consider myself independent, but every morning I wake up dependent upon countless people whose names I will never know. And so perhaps the interdependent web is not simply saying everything is connected, but rather it's making, I think, a more unsettling claim, that everything depends, and therefore, so do I. And that is harder to admit, because needing someone makes us vulnerable. If I need you, you can disappoint me. If I love you, I can lose you. If I depend on my community can fail me. And if I receive something from you, I have to acknowledge that I am not entirely self-sufficient. Sometimes what looks like fierce independence is actually a defense against that vulnerability. I don't need anybody. I can handle this myself. I don't want to burden anyone. These are things I have been guilty of saying many times, and maybe some of you have said similar versions of those words. And there's another version of this that I suspect many of us know well. Some of us are very comfortable being needed and very uncomfortable about having needs. We will organize the meal train, but hesitate to receive one. We will visit someone who's sick, but feel embarrassed when someone visits us. We will listen compassionately to another person's grief and then apologize when our own tears begin to fall. We will volunteer and organize and advocate and care for everyone around us. And there's genuine generosity in all of that, but sometimes there's also a bargain. I will participate in the web as long as I get to be the strong strand. But that's not how a web works. There aren't some strands whose job is to always hold and others whose job is to always be held. We move between those positions throughout our lives. Sometimes I hold you, and sometimes you hold me. And perhaps allowing ourselves to receive is itself a spiritual practice. Receiving the casserole when we're grieving, calling someone when we're lonely, admitting that we're frightened, letting somebody teach us something, asking for help before we're desperate, allowing another person's kindness to matter. These are not failures of independence. They are ways of participating honestly in the web. And this understanding of dependency also changes the way we think about our relationship with the earth. Modern life makes it remarkably easy to forget how dependent we are. Water appears from a faucet, food appears on shelves, electricity comes through a wall, and waste disappears into a bin. The systems that sustain our lives become invisible, but the interdependent web asks us to recover a certain humility. I breathe because something else produces oxygen. I eat because soil is alive. I drink because water moves through a world I do not control. The atoms that make up my body belong to something else before they became me, and someday they will belong to something else again. We are not separate creatures generously deciding whether we should care for nature. We are nature. We are participants in systems upon which our lives depend. And that realization has ethical consequences, because the question is not whether we will depend upon one another. We already do. The actual question is, what kind of relationships of dependence will we create? Will they preserve dignity? Will people be allowed to have needs without shame? Will the vulnerable be protected? Can we depend upon one another without controlling one another? Can we receive without becoming powerless and give without becoming superior? Maybe this is one way of understanding the spiritual promise of interdependence. Immature dependency says, I cannot exist without you. Defensive independence says, I don't need you. But a mature interdependence says, I am myself and I need you. I am a person with agency and boundaries and dignity and responsibility, and I am also a creature whose life is made possible by relationships beyond myself. And those truths do not contradict each other. The web does not erase the individual. The web makes the individual possible. And so our spiritual task is not simply to recognize that everything is connected, but rather it's to notice what holds us, to notice what we are holding, to notice where we refuse to be held, to notice whose dependence upon us has become invisible, and to learn to participate in this great web of existence, not only as givers, but also as receivers. Because one of the deepest expressions of interdependence is simply being able to turn toward another human being, toward our community, toward the living world itself, and say, I need you. And to discover that there is nothing shameful about that. So say we all. Amen.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Thank you. Talk about the interdependence of the congregation and the musicians, you know? There it is, guys. This morning, our offering is a web work. Nothing is the great balance survives by taking alone. The reef gives shelter, the tree gives breath, the mangroves gives his own body to the shore. What we give here is our strand's answer, the gift that keeps this room alive for every strand that needs it, the newcomer, the grieving, the child, the searcher, all flourishing is mutual here too. If you're online, you may give using the QR code on your screen. If you're in the sanctuary, you're invited to place the offering in the basket or also use the QR code on your screen. Thank you for giving as you're able. Friends, we extinguish his flame and we carry his light into every ecosystem we belong to, into the households and workplace, the friendships and the reef, the family patterns and the city streets. May we move through all of them this week as strands that know what they are doing. Small answers all the time. The flame leaves this room, the web holds. And together we say, the flame is gone, the light goes with us, every strand matters, every strand is held. We are woven in, Selah. Our closing song is Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in the Teal Hymnal, by the singer and songwriter Peter Mayer. It sings the oldest discovery of the space age, and one the astronauts kept stammering when they looked back. There are no passengers on this planet. There is one blue vessel sailing around the dark sea, and all of us are its crew. 2 weeks from today, we will bring our waters to one bow and say the same thing with our hands. For now, we say with our voices and sing our way home. Please stand as you're able and join us in this song.
Still my
I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
So in the spirit of interdependence, I have a need that I want to ask the congregation. Yesterday's enormous success of the New Eden Jubilee left us with an enormous amount of cardboard boxes. And we do not have a recycling bin to deal with the capacity of boxes. So if anyone has spare recycling at home and is willing to take a box or two, I invite you to go to the pastor's office on the other side of the building. I've already compiled them into just, you can grab some, but just grab what you're able, and please let's help each other out. So thank you. And as we close out, I invite you to go now as strands of the one web. Go and meet abundance where it lives instead of forcing it to your door. Go and answer the wobble with small answers all the time. And when the week grows heavy, drop the armor. Let yourself be held. The web was built for that, and so are you. You did not create yourself. You do not have to carry yourself. We are woven in. Go in peace, go held, and holding. So say we all. Amen.
And friends, join us for lunch. We have Olive Garden, thanks to Pride Lines from yesterday's Lavender Lounge. So please enjoy yourself. Sorry, Joseph.
Let's keep the mics all together.